The popularity of vintage clothes has spawned a new breakout industry. Vintage buttons are now so popular, a Brisbane antique dealer has become one of the biggest traders in Australia.
Vintage buttons, they'll hold your shirt together, and if you're lucky, they'll hold a little value as well. Paddington Antiques boasts the biggest batch of antique buttons in Queensland, a button for every buyer.
This is probably the only dedicated button shop in Brisbane that sells antique and modern buttons. So there is a huge market for it, and it's becoming more collectible as time goes on.
Buttons have been part of clothes for more than 400 years. The materials mark each era: silver, quartz, glass, bakelite and plastic. Now, the big buyers are vintage clothes hunters and jewellery makers.
I buy a lot of clothes from vintage stores and I don't like the buttons on them, so I always think about changing the buttons.
I just love that it's something different. It's not what everyone else has.
And often, the button comes with a story.
I used to live in London and came across these buttons and thought, wow, they look fantastic. They were hot pink and lime green.
For the big spender, these buttons are pretty much as good as it gets. Sterling silver, about 110 years old, and they can be yours for $400. For the discerning buyer, though, it's all about the quality of a bygone era.
Much better than the modern stuff. The quality is there.
A vintage button and a stitch in time. Jessie Grayson, 10 News.